All right. Hey everyone, this is Timothy Allen Alenko, and today I'm going to kind of share something real quick that is kind of like a rebuttal response to a video I saw that you might have seen the same thing. I'm not going to mention who it was because I'm not trying to call anyone out. That's not the purpose of this video. I'm just giving my perspective on that technique and my response to it. So basically what the guy was saying in the video was that the throw is kind of like a spin putt motion, and he was meaning from here to here, that kind of release angle. I guess you could look at it that way. That's not how I would choose to approach it, but that's what he did in the video. He was also saying that the arm is not really doing much in any other portion except for directly in front of you, in front of your torso while you're throwing. So here, it's not doing much. And then once you get into the power pocket, then that's where your arm is going, and then the rest is your body rotation. So basically what he was saying was the initiation of the throwing motion is the torso rotating, and then once you're here, then the arm pulls. Once you're at that 90-degree power pocket, I forget the exact terminology he used, then once you're here, then the body takes over again and the rotation opens you up. I don't believe that's correct. Now, I could be wrong. I'm no professional critiquer, advice giver, coach at this. I do give lessons, but I don't know everything, so I'm open to other ideas. How I think that's the wrong idea is that might work for a lower arm speed, is being back here, and then you start the throwing motion with the rotation of your body until you're here, you pull through and you release. That makes sense for a slow arm speed. So if I'm throwing, maybe my max is around 300, 325, that might work. Any faster than that, the problem becomes if you initiate with your torso rotation, your arm has no chance to catch up. And what I mean is at the slower speeds, you can still catch up your body if you start the throwing motion with the rotation of your torso. But once you get a little bit faster than that, you have to start the throwing motion with a pull. It has to be a pull. And if you don't pull, by the time your body starts rotating, the disc is already trailing behind, and there's no chance for you to pull. Because once you're in a throwing motion, there's no way to get from here to here. It's not going to happen. And so to initiate the throwing motion, you have to pull first. Now, another part of the video, I guess what some people were debating was, do you actually reach back or walk around your disc? I don't think this is something that you should be talking about. If you do a standstill, you do reach back, right? You reach back and then you throw. But for the throwing motion, their argument was you leave the disc in the same place, you walk past it, and then you throw. That's the same exact thing as reaching back. It just happens to be that your reach back is at the same speed that you're walking. And so if it helps you to think of it as you walk past your disc and then you throw, sure, do that. That's fine. I don't think that's healthy to think about that way, because then you're focusing on where your body is in relation to the disc as opposed to where the disc is in relation to your normal throwing motion and keeping that consistent. I just don't think it's something that you should be focusing on. So what I think is a better alternative to what he was saying in his video is have that reach back, and then you need to start the throwing motion with the pull. So your hips should be turned back slightly, your shoulders should be back almost all the way, if not more than all the way, to get you a full reach back. Then you pull, as you're planting your foot, you pull into here, right? You got to get that pull first before your shoulders rotate, and then once you're here, your shoulders and hips and everything kind of line up in that center hit box. I call it a center hit box. It's right in the middle, power pocket, whatever you want to call it. They all kind of meet up here. Then your arm continues past your shoulders, past your hips, and then your follow through opens your shoulders up and in turn opens your hips up. So the hips turn back slightly, meet up in the middle, turn forward slightly. The shoulders turn back all the way, meet up in the middle, follow through all the way, and the arm is what initiates and completes that. So when you reach back, initiate with the pull, right, before you really rotate your body. You don't want to be leading with your body because that's what causes rounding. Initiate with the pull to here, to the center hip box, everything's lined up, arm goes through, shoulders open up, then your hips open up. That's the way the throw should be to get maximum power. Now, like I said, I don't think that that could be a problem, that other technique, if you have a lower arm speed. And what I mean by that is because it's basically like throwing a frisbee. You can kind of throw and whip the disc out with the rotation of your body, and it'll fly okay, and you can make that work. But if you're trying to go for distance, if you're trying to really improve upon your form, that's not going to work, because if I do that with more body speed and try to throw a farther drive, all I'm going to do is leave my arm trailing behind. I'm going to have all this body speed, which is fine, you just have to know how to manage it, and then the disc is going to whip behind and it's not going to work out, as opposed to pulling nice and through and then opening up. And I'll try it. In the bushes. I'll get that later. But anyway, that's the basics. You really want to initiate with the pull first, as opposed to initiating with the body rotation. So that's kind of my response and my rebuttal. I know I'm kind of long-winded. I don't usually do one-take videos, but I felt I kind of wanted to just talk about it. So we're already at like 6.5 minutes, but you know, whatever. So here's the throwing motion from the side. So I didn't even have a whole lot of body speed. I wasn't even running through my motion that fast. I'm wearing work boots right now also, so that doesn't help. But it's not about your body speed. That's not what gets your arm speed. You gotta get there, pull, everything meets up in that center hit box, and then the arm continues and opens up everything else. I just think that's the most consistent way to throw and apply the power. Way to practice this, towel drill. If you haven't done the towel drill, do that. I'm gonna make another video just on the towel drill, just addressing that. But one thing you can practice is, as I always say, standstill putters. That kind of critiques everything for you. So stand with your putter, you're gonna reach back, and instead of initiating with your spin and letting the disc trail, what I want you to do is a couple different things. I want you to face back towards your reach back and throw by pulling, and leave your head back just to see what it feels like. So you're gonna reach back and just throw like that. It's probably gonna be horrible, and that's fine, but I want you to get that feeling of pulling before you rotate your body. Next, what I want you to do, you can use a mid-range or putter, that same standstill drive, but instead, after you pull, you're gonna meet up, facing straight, looking at a point on the ground. This is something he said in his video, I believe, that was accurate. You do wanna pick a point, go there, and meet there. You don't wanna be opening up early with your head. I'm interested to actually see his form and seeing how he throws, because he might be just explaining it in a weird way and he actually does have good form. I don't know, so I'm not judging in that regard. But so what you're going to do for this next part, that reach back, you're going to initiate with the throw, or with the pull. You're going to initiate with the pull to here, right into that center hit box, and then you're going to find that point on the ground. Keep your shoulders and everything locked on that place. Your shoulders and your hips. The only thing that's going to happen is your arm is going to pass through. And it should fly a little bit better because it's not as awkward, but that's the deal. So then practice that. Don't worry about applying power. That's not the point right now. You're going to do that, and then now, after you've gotten that feeling of leaving your shoulders there, you're going to do that. Initiate with the pull, get to the center hit box, you release, and then wait for your follow through to open up your shoulders. And that's essentially the throwing motion you're going to have in your throw. So I'll try another full power so you can see what I'm talking about. To the side. And then to the distance. That's basically it. That's what I got for you.